to At the Office, Cleveland's home for sports talk that never clocks out. From the latest headlines to heated debates, we're diving into everything sports. It's your hosts, Noah and Erik.
Garrettsville, how we doing? Welcome to At the Office, the show where we talk all things sports.
Welcome into At the Office live from Slim and Jumbo's. We're going to talk Browns pregame, but we are live. They're doing the dog walk here at the official Browns backers bar in Garrettsville. If you're here live, make sure you go check out the raffles over there. There's a lot of good things. I was asked to plug that. I also have a green Monster. Get that at the bar.
I'm enjoying myself a little bit of water and hanging out a little bit, cooling off, you know what I mean?
Shame on you.
Shame on me indeed. The Browns play the Baltimore Ravens today in a matchup that is super favored in terms of the Ravens. How are you feeling about the matchup, especially with some of the news that has broke since the last time we talked?
Well, in front of all these Browns fans, I want to say that the Browns are going to win, but I don't think that's the case. I said it on our preview show, and I'm going to maintain the Browns are not winning today.
Why are the Browns not winning today?
Have you watched the Ravens?
Yeah, they lost.
Watched the Browns? They lost in a thriller, but they can score at will. The Browns can't do that.
The Browns can potentially do that, especially with one Joe Flacco, who has the passing ability to go for 300, 350, all of those different amounts of yards.
First time Joe Flacco back in Baltimore. So are you expecting a big game from him then?
I am expecting a big game from him today because it is his first time back in Baltimore, dealing with the Ravens, going against that team. I think he's going to go for like 300 plus, man.
So here's the thing. Baltimore put up 40 yards in that loss to the Bills, and that loss was more on Baltimore's defense than it was their offense. Obviously, Derrick Henry had that fumble that led to the loss, but you're telling me that the Browns can put up 40-plus points? Or is the defense going to be – I mean, they've looked incredible, the Browns' defense. Are they going to be the X factor that stops Lamar and co?
Let me ask you this question before I answer yours. Which defense do you think is better, Buffalo or Cleveland?
Cleveland.
That gives you your answer for my question.
Which offense do you think is better, Baltimore or Cleveland?
Baltimore. I'd be stupid to sit up here, even with my Browns gear on, enjoying my life, to say that I think Baltimore's offense is worse than Cleveland's.
So you genuinely believe that Cleveland has a chance today?
I predicted them to win on our show on Friday. Go check it out, by the way, if you haven't, at the Office CLE. And if you're here at Slim and Jumbo's, we are giving away a Browns jersey. All you got to do, scan the QR code right there, subscribe, leave us a comment, and you will be entered to win a Browns jersey of your choice. Okay,
that's right.
Sorry.
And again, check out those raffles that they're doing. It all supports the James A. Garfield boys and girls soccer teams. So go enter the raffles. There's a lot of cool things. I think there's like a liquor basket with $200+ worth of liquor.
Yeah, 250, I think she said.
That one.
Yeah, of course I am. I got a bar card. I want to enter that. Let's get back to the game, because we had two bits of breaking news come out since the last time we sat down on the show and talked a little sports. Quinshon Judkins is playing today. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. I think that 1-2 punch, if you're not named either Quinshon Judkins or I'm blanking.
Dylan Sampson.
Yeah. If you're not one of those two guys, it's probably not good for you. But this is exactly what we've been waiting for. Seeing what our rookies can do in tandem with one another, and that obviously opens up the pass game.
Yeah.
We're a play-action heavy team. We are a tight end heavy team. So getting the run game going today will be key if we're going to try to pull out that victory.
So I agree with you 100%. I said that on our show before. Judkins, how many snaps do you think he's actually going to get?
I think he'll split it. I don't know. I think he'll probably take around 25% of the snaps. What do you think?
They said he was going to get a backup level of snaps in this game, so I would say, yeah. I predicted it 50% going to Dylan Sampson, 30 and 20 between Ford and, of course, Judkins, just depending on what happens between the both of them.
Do you think Ford is, proverbially crapping his pants right now?
No, because I think they kept him, they renegotiated the deal that he has going on so that they could use him as that third running back, the home run hitter, which I know you hate that analogy, but that's what he is.
Because he doesn't hit home runs. Rarely.
He goes for 1 yard, 60 yards, and that gets his yards per carry up. That's what his game has been since we started playing Jerome Ford in this offense.
I think that speaks more to our offensive line and wearing down the defense over a game. And if you start seeing that from both Sampson and Judkins, I'm not sure where Ford fits on this team. He could be a third down specialist kind of role, but I'm not sure he really suits that either.
I disagree with you, man. I really do, because I think Ford, in certain situations, in plays that make sense for him, can be a productive running back in the NFL. You can't give the guy 300 carries on a season, but if you give him, say, 100 and it's plays that are beneficial to him, it makes total sense to give him those carries.
I want to move just briefly, and we'll get into the other breaking news, but I want to move briefly to special teams.
Yeah.
Are we going to see issues with the special teams again today?
I hope not, but I've been a Browns fan, I've been a Browns content creator for a while here now. To say I don't think so would be naive of me. What do you think?
I think Andre Schmidt has a bounce-back game. Listen, we've talked about it. This is a guy that won the Lou Groza in college. He made the most field goals last year in the UFL. The talent is clearly there. I think maybe nerves got a little of the better of him last week, and I don't expect to see that again.
He is a young kid. I hope he can turn it around. You know, something we asked for as Browns fans when we went into this preseason was for Dustin Hopkins to have some competition. Well, he did. He lost, and we signed the guy we liked. So that gives me a good sign of hopefully it's just the yips, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think he bounces back. I will say, watching college football yesterday and seeing some of the college kids hit a 55-yarder or hit the game-winning field goal and then thinking, man, we don't have that on the Browns is really frustrating.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, you talk about it like that, like Ohio's kicker comes to mind when the Buckeyes beat up on the Bobcats last weekend, this week. He hit a 44-yarder, looked great, and then doinked one still on the upright when they scored a touchdown to start the second half of the game.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's move to the other breaking news because you had broke this earlier today.
Yeah, so Jack Conklin is not starting for the Cleveland Browns today. That is breaking news per Adam Schefter 25 minutes ago. It's already 11:55. Jack Conklin is not starting this game. He went off to the sideline while he was going through his warm-ups, took off his elbow brace because now he has an elbow injury. It wasn't the eye from last week, and walked into the locker room with the trainers. He is listed as out. One Cornelius Lucas will be playing the right tackle. Journeyman, swingman tackle. How do you feel about it?
2 words, no bueno. That's not good news, especially as a team that struggled with the run protection or scheme last week.
Yeah.
Looking for them to get up into the secondary, et cetera. They didn't look good at that. So now you're replacing one of the better offensive guards with a journeyman. That doesn't bode well once again. Yeah,
it doesn't. It does, but it doesn't for me. The one thing I did like about the Cornelius signing was the fact that he was a journeyman and he's played a lot of positions. He's a great backup tackle.
But he's a backup for a reason.
But that's where it hangs up for me a little bit is the fact that he is a backup. He hasn't been a full-time starter in the league, so.
I think this game really hinges on what the Browns' defense looks like and if the offense can keep the Browns' defense off the field long enough to get a breather. Because so far, I know it's only been 1 week, but so far the Browns defense has looked incredible.
The Browns defense has looked incredible. It looks like they're returning to that 2023 form, which I'm excited to see what happens today when we're playing a genuine high-powered offense in what is the Baltimore Ravens. There was a lot of smack talk for this game.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I love it.
You have a team that has not proven anything yet. And as good as the defense looked last week, they lose by 1 point. Obviously, those are kicking issues. But now you have guys talking crap to the defending AFC North champions. Is that right? Yeah, they won it last year.
They didn't make the Super Bowl, though. Like, yes, they do scare me. I'm using my straw man argument yet again to hopefully push us in a direction of winning this game. But there's so much good energy for the Cleveland Browns going into this game, in my opinion. The players are confident. This stupid celebration that they're running for the Baltimore Ravens for Art Modell of all men.
The 30-year celebration, right?
And I just feel like the energy, despite the trash talk, despite all of that, is still in the Browns' favor. And last I checked, other teams trash talk us and still win games. So what does it matter if we do? I think we should have that confidence.
I like quiet confidence. I don't think you need, not that we talked about it already, it's not like Baltimore needs anything extra motivation-wise.
Especially after losing that game to Buffalo last week.
Especially it's an AFC North rivalry. I mean, no matter who you play in the North, you're going to get that. What frustrates me is you don't say that out loud. Be quiet, go play your game, and hopefully get an upset win.
I hope they get an upset win. The spread is 11.5 for the Cleveland Browns to lose this game, of course. And I think that's a little disrespectful, honestly.
11.5?
11.5. That's a large spread for the NFL.
It's less than 2 touchdowns.
It is less than 2 touchdowns, but a 2-touchdown spread, again, in the NFL. This isn't college. We're not talking about OU versus Ohio State where it's 32.5. Typically, if you're a good football team, you're talking about a 1.5, 2.5, max 3.5 point spread going toward the home team. And I know what last year was for the Cleveland Browns, but Deshaun Watson's not our quarterback anymore. It is Joe Flacco, a guy that knows how to run the offense, rookies that we enjoy that could be something. We'll talk about Shedeur Sanders here in a little bit because there was some breaking news on that as well.
Interesting to note, though, is that Baltimore has a pretty vaunted pass rush. They look decent against the Bills, even though they lost. They did pick off the Bills, I think, twice in that game. So is that pass protection that looked really good against the Bengals, does that hold up today?
I hope so. And speaking of the Bengals real quick, I got to give a shout out to one Tim Lyons, one of our many-time viewers here on the show. He is a Bengals fan. He does Running Through the Jungle, which is a Cincinnati Bengals sports podcast, of course. He says, I hope you guys win. I would love to see an 0-2 Ravens team. And I think that is the first time I've agreed with one of Tim Lyons' takes in our chat.
Right. He did just call our take shit right before that.
Yeah.
Which we didn't say, obviously. But no, shout out, Tim. Listen, I'm not saying the Browns can't win. Anything can happen in football. I just think it's an uphill battle today.
It is an uphill battle, but it's an uphill battle that I believe in this team. Like I said, like my bio says, I'm a known Cleveland optimist, and I will be a known Cleveland optimist, a known Cleveland homer until the day I die. And I'm riding with the orange and brown today.
I'm a journalist, so I'm going to try to keep perspective. No, listen, I think the key here is if you can protect Flacco, get the run game going on our offensive side, and then on defense, you've got to contain Lamar and Derrick Henry. That's a two-headed beast that is not the easy. I mean, that's easier said than done.
I agree. But you know what the Cleveland Browns are great at doing? Containing Lamar Jackson. I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but they are known to be one of the teams that can actually contain Lamar Jackson. And then when you're talking about Derrick Henry is a running back prior to his time with the Ravens that we've contained before. We've held him to like under 50 yards before.
Right, but you could also load the box against that Tennessee team and get away with it because they weren't really beating you over the top. So different team, completely different running back game when you look at Baltimore.
100%. That's totally fair. Let's talk a little bit about We're talking defense, so I'm going to switch us to Carson Schlesinger for a second.
Okay.
He had a great game. NFL teams, NFL pundits, whether it be Browns fans, whether it be non-Browns fans, whatever, have been speaking the praises of one Carson Schlesinger. How do you think he looks today, though, going up against a running back like Derrick Henry and a running attack with Lamar Jackson in it?
I think he'll continue to impress. There's a reason he's the green dot as a rookie, which is insane. This kid is exactly what we wanted out of that pick, and more so. I've been so impressed with him. I think the defense in general is going to impress today. The problem is that they have so many weapons on this team. When you look at their receivers, when you look at the running back game, and then, oh, by the way, you do your job, you are getting to Lamar, you're shutting down the receivers, and he breaks free and runs off a 25-yard. Like, that's the problem with playing the Ravens. How exactly do you defend? You got to get pressure, but you can't overcommit. It's a tough job at hand today. I think they're up for it, but it'll be interesting.
I don't know why I feel so good about this game. I don't know if it's the energy with the Art Modell. I know it's not the Art Modell celebration. It's the 30 years of Ravens celebration. But for all intents and purposes, it is the Art Modell celebration.
Browns 1.0.
With how good this defense played last week against a high-powered offense, arguably more high-powered than the Ravens. Passing-wise?
The Bengals?
You don't think so?
No.
You wouldn't take Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase over what they have?
I think that's a take.
That team has a Super Bowl berth too, brother.
You're forgetting that offensive line plays a part in the game, and I think I'm taking the Ravens. If I'm including all positions, I think I'm taking the Ravens.
That's fair. That's totally fair. But I don't know. The energy of today's game feels different for the Browns. They've done weird things even when they were really bad. We're talking 3-14, where they've gone to Baltimore and beat Baltimore.
Sure, it's any given Sunday in the NFL. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying that, do you disagree with Vegas? Because they're normally pretty on the money with their take.
Yeah, I do at this point, because they had us at over under 4.5 wins, right?
I think so.
I think they're going to win more than 4-5 games this year.
Well, you got to win. That's the thing. You have Ravens this week.
Yeah.
You have Packers next week.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you're looking at 0-3, which I'm not saying is the case, but if that happens, you start looking at the schedule and you go, okay, where are these 4 wins coming from? It doesn't get much easier.
After the bye week, though, it's a much easier schedule. We start off rough, but after the bye week, it goes back down mellow. We just start so front-loaded, hence why you play Joe Flacco right now, because he has
but you still have
veteran aspect.
Bengals again in Cincinnati, which can be winnable, but they're not going to look as rough that second game. You would still have Pittsburgh. You still have Baltimore again. Our schedule, just being in the North in general, it doesn't ease up.
It does. I get it. I got to ask you, man, because prior to the season, you were very optimistic about this Browns team being able to win a game.
I still am.
So then what's your take right now? Like, what are you getting at?
My take is, you know the GV Art shirt that says, like, we almost always almost win, or however it goes? That's once again this Browns team. Like, we beat the Bengals in 4 quarters of football, and yet we lost. It's like it's one little thing after another. That's the Cleveland Browns. And so while I think we have a decent team, while I think our defense has looked incredible so far, it'll be a good test today. Once again, it's how many times are we going to say, well, if we kicked that field goal or made that extra point, if NFL and wins aren't built on ifs. We haven't done it so far.
You're looking at the beginning of the schedule right now. We played Cincinnati, obviously, last week. We played the Ravens this week in about 55 minutes here. Then you go Green Bay, which I think might be the best team in the NFL this year based off everything I've seen so far. You go the Lions, which looked like they regressed last week, but I don't have an opinion on them yet because they played Green Bay.
They looked awful, but fair.
You go Minnesota, which I don't believe in J.J. McCarthy, do you?
He looked good in the fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter for sure, but not.
They won that game. Keep
looked,
going.
The Steelers, we know how that goes, unfortunately.
And they looked decent.
They did look decent with Aaron Rodgers, but then you go Miami, you go Patriots, you go Jets, Ravens at home. AFC North matchups are a toss-up. You're going to the Raiders. I believe we can stop Genty. I'm not worried about Geno Smith. You go to the 49ers, who knows right now? Half the team's already injured after 1 week. You go to the Titans.
That hurts as my fantasy has half their team, but go on.
You go to the Titans, which I'm not worried about because hot take, Shedeur Sanders greater than Cam Ward. I said it. You go to the Bears. They don't bother me. The Bills, that's a tough game. You go Steelers, Bengals to end the season.
You said a lot of don't bothers me when we won 3 games last year.
And
I know it's not the same team, but they don't bother me. Again, they play the games for a reason. So until this Cleveland Browns team proves something, I'm just not as optimistic.
I get it. But when you're talking about last season compared to this season, Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Deshaun Watson were ranked last and second to last in quarterback play out of any eligible quarterback in the league.
But let me play devil's advocate with you real quick. You don't think that Joe Flacco's finishing the season?
Do you?
I mean, time will tell. I can't predict an injury.
Okay, but do you?
In all likelihood, no. We probably see Dylan Gabriel at some point. But my point is, if you're talking quarterback play, if you think that we're going to have to turn to a rookie at some point, then why do you see such success in this team that hasn't proven itself?
Brother, we are talking about winning more than 5 games. I'm at 7 and 10.
I stand by my bet with Tim. I said I think he has under 5 and I have over 5. Yeah. 5's a wash. I stand by that bet still, but all I'm saying is they need to prove themselves. 100%. Speaking of quarterback, though, let's talk Shedeur Sanders real quick.
Yeah, so for those of you that were at the dog walk and didn't get to check your phone, Ian Rappaport, big kind of tweet. Shedeur Sanders' team told the Ravens not to draft him because he didn't want to back up Lamar, leading to him, of course, coming to Cleveland and being a 5th-round pick, high-value pick.
Thought he wouldn't get much playing time backing up Lamar.
Oh, 100%, but it's just another thread to the Shedeur actually wanted to be here, so just let him breathe for a second. I mean, you saw the clips when he got drafted. He was super happy when they said, we're taking Samson, then we're coming back to get you. Then he jumped in the pool. Then he was all of that other stuff.
I've said nothing but good things about Shedeur Sanders, and I stand by those things. Here's the thing, though. Does he start to get impatient at a certain point?
I don't think he has the right to. As much as I don't think his talent is 5th-round talent, he is a 5th-round draft pick. That's the truth of the matter. That's the situation he is dealt now.
Yeah, but with the personal brand and looking as good as he did in his first preseason game, whereas Dylan Gabriel did not, and then the roles kind of reversed, I just wonder how long he can maintain that I'm happy where I'm at when he told a team, a very good team, I don't want to play for you because I won't get playing time.
See, again, I disagree. And the reason I disagree is because the minute he stepped in Cleveland, he's been nothing but humble, helpful, and trustworthy, period. Humble, helpful, and trustworthy. That has been the name of the game with Shedeur Sanders, whether he has played great on the field. Obviously, we all watched that 3rd preseason game. He had a rough one compared to the first one. But I just don't think it's an ego thing anymore. I think he knows his place. I think he knows what's going on. And for him to succeed in this league, he's got to do what he's got to do. And if that means waiting a year, if that means waiting 2 years, if that means playing at the end of the season, I think he's going to do it.
Fair enough. By the way, we are live from Slim and Jumbos in Garrettsville, Ohio. If you're here, make sure you're going to enter those raffle baskets over there. It's supporting the James A. Garfield boys and girls soccer clubs. And there's a lot of cool stuff over there.
And don't forget, too, if you're just walking in from the dog walk, we are giving away a Cleveland Browns jersey of your choice. All you got to do is scan that QR code, You get entered. All you got to do is leave a comment, subscribe to us on YouTube. You will be entered to win. Winner picked October 1st.
Indeed. What else are you feeling with this game?
I'm feeling a lot of things aside from my good energy. We could touch on some of the bulletin board material that was brought out there because I know you're not a fan of it. We touched on it at the top of the show, but we didn't go into it. Why don't you tell the people the 2 quotes that were given by Grant Delpit, Jerry Jeudy? If you remember them, I can give them to you too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The first quote being no challenges for the Ravens secondary, of course, talking about Jerry Jeudy, and Grant Delpit saying it's not hard to tackle Derrick Henry.
Well, Jerry Jeudy had a pretty quiet day against Cincinnati. Again, does it bother me a ton? No. But I would rather not be putting those things in public because now if they get burned, they just look stupid.
They do risk that. And you say a pretty quiet day. I mean, we're talking 5 receptions, 66 yards. You didn't catch a touchdown, but that's a pretty solid day still through and through.
It's not terrible, but as a number one, I mean, quiet-ish.
Yeah, I mean, we both are on the Harold Fannin hype train right now. And Harold Fannin looked like more than advertised, even coming from a MAC school and blah, blah, blah.
Speaking of which, we have a parlay.
Do you want to go through the bets real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll go through the bets real quick. Let me pull that up right now for you. My parlay, I'll start it. You want to tell me this is some good money? Jay, I see you out there. You want to win $200 today? Go ahead and win $200. Jerry Jeudy, anytime touchdown. Harold Fannin, anytime touchdown. Flacco, $250. I think this is a very doable bet. I think Jerry wants to get his touchdown he didn't get last season, and I think it's time for Fannin to get his first.
$10 wins you $201.42 plus 2,000, a little over 2,000 odds. I also have Fannin anytime touchdown. I like this kid a lot. I think that he's solid, especially as you potentially lock down Njoku. He's another solid option, and we really like to run those 2 tight end sets. But also Herbert, 2+ passing touchdowns, and Nakua anytime touchdown. $10 wins you $175.92. I went this route mainly because I have all 3 of these guys on my fantasy team. So I'm trying to project. I lost week 1. I'm trying to project a little bit so that maybe I can get 2 wins. Get a parlay win, get a fantasy win.
And I am riding with the orange and brown because that's just what I do. I'm going to put the money on the game anyway, so my in-show parlay might as well go towards something I'm probably going to put money on anyway. You know what I mean?
I'm waiting to see the time when you do a parlay that doesn't include all Cleveland Browns picks.
We'll see what their record is after a couple weeks, and then we'll start sprinkling it in. But right now, anything's possible, and we're going to keep rolling with it. Why not?
All right, so for today, give me your quick keys to the game and what we should be looking out for.
Keys to the game for the Cleveland Browns is, of course, the defense to be stout yet again. Another key is for Joe Flacco to return to his home field, his original field, the team he got his bread and butter with, and throw for a bazillion yards. And key number 3, I know I said defense in general, but Myles Garrett needs to get a sack. Over 18 games, I think?
No, it's
14. It's 14. Over 14 games played for Myles Garrett. He only has 8.5 sacks. I want to see that number go all the way up today.
So for me, they need to start fast.
Yeah.
They've got to jump on Baltimore early, run the ball, especially with Judkins, and take your shots downfield because this secondary of the Ravens can be tested and should be tested. Obviously, you need to establish the run game to open up that play action. But I really want to see Judkins on some short passes and screens as well.
I don't know if we're going to see Judkins in the passing game whatsoever, only because it's so fresh. I mean, he only practiced Thursday and Friday. Anything where he's pass blocking or even going out on any type of complicated route, I don't think we'll see.
A screen, though?
Screen, though, yes, I will give you that. But I still only expect Judkins to get maybe 10 carries max. And I know, obviously, screen passes don't count as carries. But when you're talking about 10 carries max for a guy that you're eventually seeing to be your number 1 running back, I just don't know if today's the day where he's going to be a big pass catcher.
Yeah. Who's your X Factor player today?
Myles Garrett. It's Myles Garrett all day because of the 8.5 sacks. He needs to get that number up. What about you?
I was actually going to go with Schlesinger.
Okay, that's a good one, too. I think Schlesinger makes a lot of sense because you're trying to stop the run. Obviously, he's that first, second-level defender on a run play. So for him to get in front of one Derrick Henry or one Lamar Jackson and bring him to the ground is going to be key for the Browns to win this game.
You're starting to talk me into thinking the Browns can win this game.
I'm glad because that's what my job is to prove you wrong.
I still don't see it. If I had to take every dime that I have and put it on a team, I think I'd pick Baltimore, but
we won't talk about the money I have on this game because I may or may not have a couple parlays out there with Browns money line included because it was like plus 450. Let's see what else we got going on. So we talked a little bit about the bulletin board material. We talked about Judkin's return. We talked about keys to the game. Let's talk about Art Modell.
okay.
So they're obviously having their 30th anniversary Baltimore Ravens game, pregame show, whatever going on today. We got some flack from the viewers about being upset about this celebration.
Which is ridiculous. Clearly not Browns viewers.
Well, you're speaking of some close personal people in my life, which is the main one I'm thinking of. But we also got some comments. We did get some comments.
Well, close personal person, also ridiculous.
Fair enough. Hear that, Dad? Anyway, the celebration, does it still bother you? Are you over it now?
I don't care in the sense that I don't think the team cares all that much. The Ravens are going to do what they're going to do. It's just like I don't care if they bring out the spinning plate lady at halftime because that doesn't affect the game. It doesn't affect the players.
Red Panda, baby.
But it is a bit disrespectful.
It is a bit disrespectful because of the history that's there. My favorite comment that we got about the Art Modell celebration that is happening in Baltimore today is the fact that they thought the Ravens should wear Browns throwback jerseys for this game, which is funny to me because the Browns throwback jerseys are just the jerseys we wear. So is it going to be the Browns versus the Browns?
I mean, that's just a ridiculous take, whoever said that. I think in jest, I hope. But, I mean, the fact that you're celebrating against the Browns when it's that team that moved, and obviously there's a lot of hurt still there from our older viewers, it's just not a classy move, which is what I come to expect from Baltimore. They're kind of a classless city. They're a classless team.
Facts.
So, I mean, what exactly do we expect from them?
Nothing. I expect them to lose in the playoffs and be the definition of the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NFL. They get there, you get excited during the regular season, and then it fizzles out. But I won't make that prediction for this year because I think we're getting a ring.
Yeah, I don't know. Baltimore's celebrating 3 decades, but we're going to spoil the party.
I hope so. That's where most of my faith for this game goes into, is spoiling the party that Baltimore wants to throw on the grave of the Art Modell Cleveland Browns that obviously left the city when Modell sold out.
Yeah, and the real shame, obviously, has always been that if you were to select one of the best fan bases in the NFL, the Browns are up there. They're top 5 for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Baltimore's not.
We're downtowners, both of us. The people that you got to see lined up on Friday night before that Cincinnati game, it's the best fan base in football. I will stand by that until the day I die. What else are you thinking, man?
I'm just excited. By the way, if you're out there getting food right now, just a quick reminder, we are giving away a Browns jersey of your choice. Make sure to enter. Producer Deshaun is there off screen holding it up. All you have to do is follow us on YouTube and leave a comment on one of the recent videos, but you'll get a Browns jersey of your choice if you win on October 1st.
They also have a bunch of raffle baskets going on if you're here as well. Make sure you go check them out. There's like $250 worth of liquor in one. There's a bunch of good stuff. That's apparently the one that we've clung onto as a shout out because $250.
It's clearly it's left its imprint on us, I guess.
It has.
And we are here at Slim and Jumbo's live for the Browns-Ravens game.
This is the best part of what we do, in my opinion, is to be able to sit up here and just talk sports, hang out, do our thing while we're on the show, and just talk about what we have going on. Let's switch gears to one Cedric Tillman.
Okay.
He has had ups and downs with his time as a Cleveland Brown. He had a bright spot of a run before he got a concussion that took him out for the year. What do you expect out of him in this game today?
I expect a big game out of him, frankly. I think that the Ravens secondary is going to hyper-focus on Judy probably.
Okay.
And he'll be a bit of a distraction. I think he'll get some yards, don't get me wrong. He'll get free. But Tillman is there as that number 2 guy for a reason. And what I want to see is we talked about taking shots early on in the downs.
They need to keep up with the Ravens. That's the only way you're going to win this game. If you're getting in a shootout, that's a problem, but as long as you keep the score within 7. But continue.
Stay ahead of the sticks. If I have a complaint about Kevin Stefanski, it's that it's 2nd and 10 and he's running HB ISO.
You're right.
I don't want that today. You got to stay ahead of the sticks, and if that means using slants and using out routes that can get your guys open. We know Flacco can throw them open, but take what they're going to give you and stay ahead of the sticks. That's how you're going to win this football game.
For sure. I'm a little concerned, based off of what I saw last week, about drops. And drops happening with not only the wide receivers, but the tight ends, the running backs, whatnot. And that's something that sticks out for me for Cedric Tillman is he going to be dropping balls on accident? Is that going to happen this week, or do you think that was week 1 yips?
If there are 2 things you can bet on in life, one of them's that our kicker's going to suck, and the second's that our wide receivers are probably going to drop balls. That's just been what we've been dealing with for how long now?
Yeah.
It can't go on forever. I mean, surely we see that in week 1. Week 2, it's cleaned up, right?
I hope so.
But I keep saying the same thing about DeJuan Jones not getting penalties, and that never seems to clean up, so I don't know.
Hey, as long as he stays healthy and out there, that's the biggest thing. I hope that these wide receivers were on the jug machines because they should have only focused on making sure they grab it with 2 hands and bring it in. Grab it with 2 hands and bring it in.
Yeah, do you think it's time we start drafting some Buckeye receivers? Because looking around the league from week 1, those 4 guys, they sure had some amazing games. Most of them were over 100 yards. Ekbuka wasn't, but he had 2 touchdowns. I think it's time we maybe draft some Buckeyes.
Listen, I'd be fine if it was even Carnell Tate. I know Jeremiah Smith's got some time. I think Jeremiah Smith is going to be an awesome receiver, period. If you don't think so, I don't know what type of football you watch, but you're wrong.
He's unbelievable.
But the funny thing, I know what you're talking about because me and producer Deshaun were watching that game last night. The fact that they put Chris Olave on the graphic, he was at the bottom, like 4 catches, 56 yards, and then he left the game with an injury. I just think he's the only one out of all those Buckeye receivers. I'm making a joke out of it now because you're looking at Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's got 100 yards. You're talking about Garrett Wilson having, I think, 2 touchdowns or whatever, and then it's Chris Olave at the bottom, who I was going to be a great NFL receiver, but is consistently hurt, doesn't do too much, also has Spencer Rattler throwing him the football.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I got to call you out a little bit because you just said that Jerry Jeudy had a pretty good game at 60-some yards, and now you're saying the guy that went out hurt that was at 60-some yards wasn't very good.
100%.
Make it make sense, Noah.
That's a fair
There's
comment.
the homer take.
It is a homer take, but they're not in brown and orange anymore, so I don't care. It's just funny looking at the graphic of all the Ohio State receivers that are doing good in the league, and then it's Chris Olave at the bottom with like 56 yards. That's a good game, but compared to like what they were trying to get at.
So let me ask you this. Today, who leads the Browns in receiving yards, and who leads the Browns in rushing yards?
Rushing yards, it's going to be Dylan Sampson. I think he's going to get a bulk of the carries despite Judkins coming back. I just don't think Judkins is going to play the full game or, a full workload of a game yet. He's only practiced for 2 days. Passing yards, I'm going to go with Harold Fannin Jr. I am very confident of Harold Fannin being a key cog in this offense. He looked awesome. He looked like the safety valve for one Joe Flacco last week, and I think that continues this week. What do you think?
It's funny you say that because I agree with you with Sampson, and I was going to go with Njoku as our leading receiver. So our head's in the right place, or in the same place, rather. But I think you see big games from the tight ends today for sure.
David Njoku is known for having good games against Baltimore, so I wouldn't be surprised if he steps over Harold Fannin this week and has that role, especially because he doesn't have to worry about chip blocking someone like Trey Henderson like he did for most of the game last week, helping, of course, DeJuan Jones block him because DeJuan's so fresh at left tackle. I think we will see a lot more output out of one Chief David Njoku.
I'm excited. I just hope that the Browns can actually hang and it's not a complete bloodbath, which I don't think it will be, but
yeah.
We know how that's gone and we've seen it before, and that's a frustrating game to watch.
So you said I'm selling you a little bit on the Cleveland Browns winning this game, right?
Oh, I'm being facetious all the way.
You still think they're losing?
If I had to put my money, I'm a Browns fan, so the Browns fan in me always goes in with optimism. But the realist in me knows that going in with optimism in the past, I don't know, since I've been alive, hasn't worked out for the Browns. So
it works sometimes. It worked in 21. It worked in 23.
We did have a playoff win. That's cool. Against Pittsburgh, no less.
So then where are you at with the score of this game? What do you think it's going to look like?
Okay, my realistic score, I'm going to take Ravens 36-21.
36. You still think it's high scoring?
Yeah. I don't know. That does sound like a lot of points with our defense. I'll stick by it, though. My Browns fandom score, Browns 1,000,000, Ravens 0.
You can't use that
Browns, they start clicking. Browns 42, 21.
My score prediction has not changed, and it will not change. 31 Ravens, 38 Browns. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think the kickers are going to come into play at some point.
Did we score 38 points all of last year? Not like combined, but...
No, I don't think so. But we also, again, had Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Deshaun Watson playing a majority of quarterback.
Did Joe Flacco score 38 points last year?
I don't know. I don't watch the Colts. Do you
Probably
watch the
not.
Colts?
I don't know. I think it's a lot to ask. I hope you're right. The key here, though, is Stefanski needs to get out of his own way. Because...
What do you mean by that, though?
I've talked about it. Running halfback draw on 2nd and 10 is a Stefanski special. And then when we gain 1 yard with Ford and it's 3rd and 9, we're not doing any favors to Joe Flacco.
But if you run that halfback draw with one, say, Quinshaw Judkins, do you not feel more confident in what might happen there?
I'm confident in Kevin Stefanski's very first scripted series.
That's it?
Yes.
I thought you liked Stefanski as a coach.
Overall, I like Stefanski, but there are times where, we make the joke all the time. It's the Denny's menu in front of him. That comes from, what's his name back in the day?
Wasn't it Ken Carman?
No, it was, who was the coach? He was an offensive coordinator, became our coach.
Are you talking about...
guy.
Oh, Freddie Kitchens.
Freddie Kitchens. He would stand there on the sideline, and when the camera would look to him, they replaced him with Peter Griffin with the Denny's menu because he just looked like a bad gambler that's like, all right, red's going to hit this time for sure. And he'd call the same things. I feel like Stefanski sometimes gets lost in the game. Notably, we've talked about it, he's now calling plays again.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. What is Reese's job exactly?
Reese's
Tommy
job
Reese.
is, you know how many head coaches do call plays? Like, this isn't an anomaly. I know you get like to be hung up on it, but it's not an anomaly. Tommy
Name
Reese
5.
is, off the top of my head without notes.
But my point is, he just coming up with the game plan and Kevin Stefanski in-game is calling him?
It's a collaborative effort, just as it would be if it was a defensive head coach with the defensive coordinator.
Look at how much the Buckeyes improved last year, finally moving on from play calling from Ryan Day.
There's a difference between Ryan Day and Kevin Stefanski in that Kevin Stefanski is
two-time coach of the year. You love to say two-time coach of the year.
Successful offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Again, what does that mean?
That he knows what he's doing.
But you have more responsibilities as a head coach. Has he not gotten lost in the game fairly often?
He has, but did you see it last game? The penalties were DeJuan Jones. It was player personnel issues.
There were several 3-and-outs. That the play calling could have been better.
Like what? Give me an example.
The passing on long or running on long distances on second down, that's one of the big ones.
You don't think that this offense should be a run-first offense?
In theory, yes. In practicality, from what we saw last week with the run game, no.
Go ahead. Do I have a PC? No, I don't.
We got a fan. They're both MacBooks.
Yes.
That is true.
We are big MacBook people over here. Go Browns. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. That was awesome. All right. Feel better about myself now. Back to it, though. Kevin Stefanski, play calling. You don't think this offense should be run first. I know what you said. You didn't see it last week, but when you have a power back like a Quinshon Judkins that fits this offense, like a Dylan Sampson who's a perfect foil for Quinshon Judkins, that doesn't speak to you a little bit?
Again, I can only go off what I've seen, and last week the run game was atrocious. It doesn't come from the backs themselves. It came from our O-line.
Oh, the O-line, I could tell you just from watching the film, because, yes, I do pay for all 22 NFL film now because of the show. The O-line did not get good push whatsoever. They were not moving their people in the direction they
Great
needed.
protection, terrible run scheming. Not the scheme, but the execution. So, Nat, should we be a run-first team? Again, in theory, yes, but in practice, they look terrible.
It was one game. I would love to see what happens with Baltimore before I come up with a bigger judgment. You know what I mean?
Here's my problem. If I'm Kevin Stefanski, here's what I'm doing. Run, pass, punt. How often have we seen that? It's uninspiring. Why not take a play-action shot on 1st and 10? We don't see it enough.
Well, you know how I feel about a play-action
I
shot
do.
on 1st and 10. That's my first scripted play, no matter what, every game until they stop it.
And we don't see it enough. That's my problem. At times, Stefanski is just uninspiring. And I'm not saying Tommy Rees would do better. I don't know. He was Alabama's offensive coordinator. Obviously, there's a big difference there, but I would like to see it.
I will give you credit in this. If Tommy Rees made Jalen Milroe look good, he can make a lot of quarterbacks look good. But he doesn't have to be the play caller to do so. I think we're grasping at straws when we talk about the calling duties of the Browns coaches, because at the end of the day, there's only so much pertinence that goes into it, because when you're the offensive-minded head coach and the O coordinator and the quarterback coach, they all work in unison. Kevin Stefanski picked Tommy Rees to be his offensive coordinator. So I think there's synergy there that you're kind of forgetting, and you're hung up on the idea that Kevin Stefanski maybe might not call a timeout in the right spot, which we haven't seen.
It happens to every coach, granted.
Fair, yes.
I don't know. He leaves more to be desired more often than not, and that's frustrating in my opinion. When you say he misses a timeout now and again, or he ran the clock down and they weren't able to that's frustrating. That's points on the board just like anyone else. And how many times, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to it. Who am I? We just have to do better. I have to do better. Kevin Stefanski special.
He owes nothing to the media. He owes nothing to us as fans to say anything in the media about how he actually feels.
He owes us some wins.
We've made the playoffs twice underneath him, Erik.
Yeah.
How can you talk about that? When you were in high school over here in Garrettsville, were we in the playoffs?
I didn't go to Garrettsville, but
I know. We went to Wyndham. We're aware.
But what did high school have to do with me?
I'm just shouting out the area we're in.
Gotcha. Smooth. Listen, yes, he's done well at times, but could he do more? He's like the opposite of Mike Tomlin. Tomlin does more with less. I'm not saying that Stefanski does less with more, but...
You don't want me to go down the Mike Tomlin rabbit hole today. We won't even get to watch the Browns-Ravens game.
I can't believe you're still a hater of Mike Tomlin.
Always will be.
I'm a Browns fan.
Here we go, Brownies! Here we go!
Woo! Woo!
Here we go, Brownies! Here we go!
Woo! Woo!
Here we go, Brownies! Here we go!
Woo! Woo! Hey, come up here real quick. If you're going to do that, you got to come up here.
Yeah.
Watch your step. There's a lot of cords and stuff.
Yeah, Watch yourself.
What's your name?
My name is David Matata.
David, all right, give us your prediction. First of all, Browns are winning, right?
Oh, of course the Browns are going to win. It's going to be a close game. We're going to have to stop Derrick Henry, but I think we got the juice. We can do it.
So what's your final score prediction?
It's going to be close. It's going to be low. It's going to be 24-21 Browns.
All right, I like it.
That means he's predicting a made kick by Andre Schmidt. So just make sure you all remember that when he misses one. Yes, you did. 3 extra points and a field goal.
You can't see him. He looked a little nervous when that was pointed out, but
Thank you for coming up, man. We appreciate it. Man, where were we? Oh, we were talking about Stefanski and calling. Tomlin. We won't get into Tomlin. We'll put that to the side. Who cares about the Steelers? It's not Steelers week. You don't have faith in Kevin Stefanski?
Wait, one more time?
You don't have faith in Kevin Stefanski?
I think that Kevin has set himself up for a prove-it year, and if he doesn't prove it, I like him overall. I've been on record. I'm not a fan of moving on for the sake of moving on, but that doesn't mean I can't be critical and tell that he needs to improve in some areas. There's a difference, but you keep saying, well, you want to get rid of Kevin. Who do you want to replace him with? I've never said that.
Let me ask you this. Kevin moved away from being the play caller last season. How'd that do?
Well, I think with Deshaun Watson,
I
could have called the plays. It wouldn't have
Deshaun
mattered.
Watson wasn't the quarterback when they moved on. Jameis Winston was.
Okay, again,
what
doesn't
was the
matter.
record? Right. It doesn't. It does matter because the times the Cleveland Browns have won football games, Kevin Stefanski was the head coach and the play caller.
Here's what I'll say. If he's going to call plays, that's fine, but don't neglect your other duties. And a couple years ago, he turned over play calling. Why?
Last season, he turned over play calling because the offense wasn't working, and there's even potential of ownership push to make the offense work under Ken Dorsey's system, not the Kevin Stefanski system. This team has won games with, Erik.
I don't like that either. I want ownership to stay out of this football team. You can do marketing, you can do merchandise, but stay out of on-the-field product.
Real quick, everybody that is in here, we are giving away a Cleveland Browns jersey of your choice. All you got to do is scan the QR code. It's floating around. It's over here, actually, now. And then you'll be entered to win a Browns jersey of your choice. Raffle baskets are going on. Make sure you go check those out. And overall, it's a good time over here at Slim and Jumbos.
It is a good time. I'm excited. We're going to find out real soon what happens, obviously. We gave our score predictions. We got a live on-air prediction. He thinks the Browns are going to win with a field goal, by the way.
And 3 made extra points, mind you.
Yeah, I over-under on one of the either extra points or field goals being missed by the Browns.
Oh, it's happening.
100%?
I can't say it with good faith that it's not, you know what I mean, after what we saw from him last week. I hope he got over his yips and he looks like the kicker that I think this team thinks he can be with the Lou Groza Award, with all the other stuff that he has going on, you know what I mean?
Well, we are just 20 minutes away, and Baltimore, we mentioned, they're celebrating 30 years of Ravens football this season. Since arriving, they've built one of the strongest NFL teams with a couple Super Bowl wins, but obviously that came out of the ashes of what was the Cleveland Browns at the time. Today, they're going to celebrate 3 decades, but the Browns are looking to spoil that party.
I hope they do. I hope Joe Flacco goes into the team that moved off of him. I know he's played him before. He's never played in Baltimore. I think he goes in there. I think he looks good. I hope he's got a chip on his shoulder because I know if I was playing football at that level, I would 100% have a chip on my shoulder and want to go in there and spoil the day for the damn Ratbirds.
Anything else before we wrap up and watch a little football?
Let's see. Wyatt Teller, best offensive lineman on the team at the point. He looked awesome last week. If you haven't got to see that film, he had multiple pancakes, and I'm not just shouting him out because I'm wearing the jersey. Look for him to have a big game up on that offensive line. Same thing with Joe Bitonio. I think he'll have a chip on his shoulder. He's been a member of this team for so long. I'm looking at the big boys to do a lot of big things in this game. What's your final thought?
Final thought, I'm just excited that football's back. We've talked about it. It's week 2 in the NFL, week 3 in college football. And is there anything better than this? Looking out at all my Browns fans here. You all look beautiful, by the way. And this is the life.
This is the life. Let's do it one more time. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Woo, woo.
This has been a blast, man. Let's wrap it.
All right, well, the debate never ends, but the show does for now. We'll see you next time.